Hello everyone, this is Mr. Gerard, and this short video is meant to help you better understand and navigate our Week 2 module. So here we are on the first page of our Week 2 module, the overview page. As I mentioned last week, every week I will publish the new week's module on Monday, and the first page of each module there will be an overview page. And on this overview page will be a list of the assignments to be completed for the week, as well as some more important information such as when the assignments are due, and then also any quick information that I can give you here as a way to help you budget your time during the week so you get all your assignments completed and submitted by the deadline. So just remember that, again, like I said, this is the first page of our Week 2 module. And you can find this overview page in a couple of different ways. So if we go back to the course menu and click on the home link, it brings us back to the home page of our course site. And the semester is presented to you on the home site based on the weeks of the semester. And it's also grouped into the 3 units for the semester. So last week was our introductory week for the course, and this week we are moving into our first unit, which is titled The Culture of American Consumption. So we're going to be taking a look at American culture through the lens of consumption, as well as tying in our popular culture to this American consumption theme. So if we take a look at the unit, it does have a link to the formal essay for the class, which I'll mention a little bit later on, but there is a quick link to the assignment sheet for this formal essay. And notice that we have a formal essay for each one of our 3 main units for the course. If we take a look back at that Unit 1, further down we see that this unit will cover weeks 2, 3, 4, and 5 of the semester. And these links here will take you to the overview pages for each one of these weeks. Again, the overview page being the first page of that week's module. Now, like I mentioned earlier in this video and last week, I will be publishing our weekly module each week on Monday. So the only one available for this unit so far is week 2. So even though we have links for weeks 3, 4, and 5, these week's modules will not be published until the beginning of each one of those weeks. So for example, week 3's module will be published on February 7th. So if we take a look at that overview page one more time, if you watched the video from last week, notice that the overview page is structured this week in the same way as it was structured last week, and that will be consistent throughout the semester. So that way you get an understanding of how the module is structured, how the course is structured, and more specifically here, how the overview page is structured, so you can more easily understand what assignments are being assigned, when the assignments are due, and other information that will stay consistent, like contact information, etc. So here we have the deadline for our week's assignments. And really, much like last week, we'll have one assignment that is due, that is submitted by next Sunday at midnight. So pretty consistent going forward. Our discussion assignments will be due the following Sunday. So it basically gives you a week to complete the assignments outlined here on this overview page, and then submit that discussion assignment by the end of the week. And remember, as I mentioned last week, and of course you saw it when you were completing the discussion assignment from last week, that the questions or the prompts for the discussion assignments will tie into the other assignments for the week as well. So if we take a look at this next section of the overview page, it does give information about how to contact me during the week. You can contact me with a quick question or concern through email anytime during the week, and I'll get back to you as quick as I can, usually almost immediately, especially if it's during work hours. You can also talk to me through Zoom. We can have a conversation about a question or a concern you have about the class or about an assignment, or if you'd like to get some additional help with an assignment, we can set up an appointment to meet through Zoom during my office hours on Tuesday and Wednesday, 9 o'clock to 11:30. And like I mentioned last week, I usually will be around during my office hours, and so you can always pop into our Zoom room during office hours, and usually I will be there if you have a quick question, concern, or again, if you need some extra help with an assignment. So if we take a look at the assignments for this week, notice first off that we have some reading, and the reading will be out of our Signs of Life textbook. Notice if we take a look at the specific reading assignments, we continue on from where we left off last week, picking up on page 19 as we read about writing about popular culture. Now, really, this section is meant to help us to start to develop our reading and writing process. And so we'll be using the information from this section to establish a reading and writing process for all of our assignments, and then also to further develop our reading and writing processes as part of our development of these skills this semester. So really important, informative section. It may not be the most interesting section that you've ever read, but definitely an important section to both read and study. The next reading, as you can see, it's a pretty big jump. We're heading into, we're actually going to be taking a look at chapter number 3 to start the semester off, focusing on, like I mentioned earlier, American consumption. And so take a look at the introductory essay on this chapter, pages 185 to 192, for an introduction to not only this chapter in your textbook, but also this first unit of the semester. And then take a look at a very short essay, a short article out of this chapter, starting on page 207, entitled "Millennials Tried to Kill the American Mall, but Gen Z Might Save It." So this is an example of a short essay written by someone else besides the authors of our textbook, and that's pretty common for the chapters in our textbook. We'll have an introductory essay by the textbook writers, and then we'll have a collection of essays within that topic by a variety of authors. So this week you only have to read this one essay out of this chapter, and we'll read some more of these essays out of this chapter in the coming weeks during this unit. Like last week, I do have PDF versions of these reading selections for you to take a look at and to use for this week. But like it says here, I can only supply these PDF files for our textbook through this week, through the first 2 weeks of the semester. After that, you will have to use the textbook that you secured for the class. Now, if you don't have the textbook by the time you are asked to do some reading next week, just reach out to me. There might be ways I could get you a PDF version of the readings for next week, but it really has to be because something went wrong in terms of getting your textbook, or it's on the way. I can't supply a PDF file or a version of our readings beyond really next week due to copyright infringement. So again, secure the textbook as quickly as you can, but I can supply PDF versions of our readings until you can secure that textbook here this week, or maybe even next week if you need. All right, so if you take a look at assignment 2, now assignment 1 was very similar to last week, reading a selection out of our textbook, and then you will be asked to answer some prompts or respond to some prompts about those readings, and we'll see that in the discussion assignment a little further on. But assignment 2 brings in the other kind of assignment that will be very common for us over the course of the semester, and that is to begin work on the writing process of our formal essay for this unit. And so for this unit, our formal essay will be the Consumer Artifact Analysis essay. And so for this week, what I'm asking you to do for the writing process is to read the assignment sheet that is within this module. And of course, as we saw, there's a link to it from our front page. And then also to go ahead and move into the next step of the writing process, and that is to make a topic list, a list of potential topics for this first formal essay. And again, a list of potential topics. What we're going to be doing here this week with this step in the writing process is to just start thinking about the assignment, thinking about possible topics, and starting to explore possibilities. Next week, the part of the writing process will be to choose a topic from our topic list and to go forward with that topic. But for this week, it's just an exploration of those topics. And I do have plenty of material on the page, on our writing process page for this week that goes into more detail about this step of the process and really about the writing process in general. So complete that writing process work here as part of your assignments this week. And then the final assignment for the week is the discussion assignment. And again, very much like last week, and as I mentioned earlier, the discussion assignment is the assignment that you will submit to me at the end of the week, and it really does a good job of capturing the rest of the assignments from the week as well. So there will be prompts that will ask you about your reading and also about your writing for the formal essay, the writing process step. And again, just a reminder that the writing process that we're going to be using is a slow process. And so really, only thing I'm asking you to do this week for that writing is to make a topic list. Don't get in front of the writing process, even if you're tempted. Just allow the writing process to unfold, especially for this first formal essay. So once you have a topic list created, stop the process there and wait for next week, and we'll go to the next step of the process. So if we take a look at the discussion assignment for the week, just a reminder that it does have a minimum word count, so 300 words minimum for your responses to the prompts, and then 50 word minimum for each reply to your classmate. So just a reminder that this 300 words is collective, and so it's 300 words total for all of your responses to the prompts. You don't have to do 300 words per prompt. So yeah, it's actually a fairly low number once you think about it as a collective or a cumulative number. But again, it is a minimum word count. I assume that you're going to go over that 300 words, especially if you're looking to get a strong grade on this assignment. And then 50 words minimum for each reply to your classmate. Remember that the second part of the discussion assignment is to read some of your classmates' responses and reply to 2 of your classmates to complete the discussion assignment. So I do have down here this week a process that you can follow for your discussion assignment, and this is going to be a process that can be used throughout the semester for our weekly discussion assignments. And it does start to incorporate some of the information that you read about or will have read about in one of the reading assignments for this week, writing about popular culture. So we're already here incorporating some of those lessons about a reading process down here in our formal reading and writing process for the discussion assignment. And then further down, we have the actual prompts for the week. And again, like I said, there will be prompts that cover the reading for this week, as well as a prompt that covers your writing process work for the week. So again, one of the things that the discussion assignment does is it captures the work that you did beyond this assignment in the form of the reading and the writing for the class. All right, so that covers this week's assignments. As always, let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Shoot me a quick email, drop into my Zoom office hours, and we can figure it out. The goal here is to try to make this as clear as possible. Early on in the semester, there's always going to be some confusion, but again, my goal is to try to be as clear as possible. And if you are confused at all about any of this, just let me know and I'll work to clarify things. All right, everybody, good luck this week, and I will talk to you soon.